Yes, it was just a few games, and yes, it was just the Kings. But the Rockets look like the Showtime Lakers. John Wall, DeMarcus Cousins, and James Harden shared the floor for the first time, and it was fun as hell. But looming over every steal, dunk, or three is a James Harden trade. This team has the potential to be the best in the Harden era, but literally any day, the best player could be gone. All the talk is about where James Harden will go, but this video asks the unthinkable. What if he stays? Hey, it's Casey. Welcome to AM Hoops. Hit subscribe and notification bells. This video is brought to you by our Patreon members, specifically Radu Triculescu, who is one of our newest members. We have been DMing back and forth. He has been a part of our live streams that we do just for Patreon members once a week, sort of a Q&A, checking in on the channel or the NBA or whatever. If you want to join Patreon, the link is down below in the description. You get all of that, plus you can request a video topic. Straight up, the Rockets should do everything in their power to convince James Harden to change his mind and stay. It looks like it could be possible too. After that first win, Harden said this, quote, "We're happy for Coach Silas to get his first win. Now, let's see how many more we can get." Okay. Now, if the Rockets do trade Harden, they want a young player back, but no one's got the raw talent of the beard. I have said on this channel before that Harden can't be the best player on a championship team. I've also said he doesn't work well with other stars. All that can be true, but the fact remains their best chance at a championship is with the beard. He's an all-world offensive talent, and anyone they get back doesn't take this team any further. Think about Ben Simmons or Michael Porter Jr. Both those guys are rumored in a trade. They're both good for the future. This team, though, is built for right now. We just watched the debut of John Wall and DeMarcus Cousins. I was so impressed. It seriously looks like watching the Showtime Lakers. Steals turned into fast breaks, there were dunks and lobs everywhere. And you know Showtime didn't have elite defense either. They were average in the West back in the day. They won with elite offense and coaching. The Rockets aren't in a hurry to trade Harden, and if they play like this, he could see the truth. He has never had a better chance to win in Houston. That's a statement too, because they got damn close with Chris Paul. They were a hamstring away from probably winning the chip. That team had two superstars in James Harden and Chris Paul. This one has three. John Wall looks every bit as explosive as before, which is unreal after taking 2 years off with injury. DeMarcus Cousins played without any hiccups either. If they are all healthy, Houston has a legit big three. The Rockets should turn down every trade offer, just like the Bucks did with Giannis. The Bucks were not going to trade him for anything before his free agency. They knew the truth. They weren't going to get another Giannis-level player in return. They might as well go for it that one last year and win. Good thing with the Rockets and Harden, they've got 2 years to go. It's also kind of like the Toronto Raptors and Kawhi Leonard. A huge gamble for them to take on Kawhi. They knew he wanted to go to LA, but they went for it and they won. Houston should take that exact same risk. But how do they change his mind though? Well, Harden's trade teams are all contenders, but that's not all he wants. I think the Beard demanded a trade because of the new owner, Tillman Fertitta. This dude pissed off the coach, Mike D'Antoni, and the front office guy, Daryl Morey. Both were really close to James Harden. Then there's a report from longtime NBA reporter Rick Bucher. He explained the issue on a podcast, saying it's about a lot more than just basketball.
I immediately thought this was Daryl Morey leaving, Mike D'Antoni leaving, and Russell Westbrook and James Harden looking at the team and going, we don't want a starter kit. But what I hear is, I'm hearing that Tillman Fertitta's strong Republican support and donations is one of the things that's contributing to this dissatisfaction, and that those two are not the only ones who want out of Houston. Lesser players are of the same mind. Like there's a revolt here because they look at they look at Fertitta as a guy who supports the current president.
Yep. According to an ESPN investigation, Fertitta donated 5th most to Republicans among NBA team owners. And if that really is a major factor here, then Fertitta needs to do something I don't think he's capable of: humble himself. This is a guy who wrote a book called Shut Up and Listen. Well, he needs to do that exact same thing. The NBA is a players' league. You can't be the big shot, big ego owner in the NBA and survive. Even Mark Cuban is all out in the media, but he gives the players all the credit.
He's the guy that hurts so much when things don't go the way he wants. And that's what makes him an MVP of this league.
Fertitta is quickly becoming one of the worst NBA owners, but it's not too late to turn things around. He has to bring James Harden in and ask what he can do for the beard to stay. He should say, James, this is your team. What do I need to do to keep it that way? If the rumors are true that Fertitta is the problem, then Fertitta is the only one who can fix this. And the reason he should beg Harden to stay is this franchise is completely screwed without a blockbuster trade. Daryl Morey gutted this team's future draft stock, so a rebuild is almost impossible. The Rockets are asking for multiple unprotected first-round picks for Harden, and so far all they've gotten back is no. Here's a look at what Houston has in future drafts. They've got the Pistons, Blazers, and Wizards first-round picks, but they're all heavily protected. That means they'll be late in the first round. The only picks they own outright the next 6 years are in 2022 and 23. If they don't hit a home run with those two picks, it is a long decade in H-Town. That is unless they convince James Harden to stay. And if he does, based on what we've seen, I know small sample size, but they have the talent and potential to get the number 3 seed in the West. If they do, they could do what last year's 3 seed did, upset all the way to the conference finals. If Harden goes anywhere else, though, he would have about the same ceiling. Whatever team gets him will have to send a lot back. Harden could easily find himself on a team with the exact same chance as the Rockets. The more they play this season, Harden could see that and want to stay. The problem then will be the Rockets saying no to trade offers, because they're going to come. If James Harden leads this team to about a 3 seed, other squads will want him bad. It's not just that the team plays well, it's how they play. Harden is now in a more traditional offense. It's not ISO ball or micro ball like it was with Westbrook and no center. This is James Harden sharing the backcourt with John Wall and running pick and roll with Boogie and Christian Wood. Other teams can now see how adaptable Harden's game actually is, and they can envision how he would fit with them. So those trade offers are going to come before the trade deadline in March, but the Rockets should say no. Their best chance to win for the foreseeable future is with this team. The rebuild can wait. Support AM Hoops and click subscribe. Don't miss a daily NBA video.